Have you ever woken up in the morning, glanced down, and noticed something missing? Maybe you remember a time when every morning started with confidence, when your body, your energy, your masculinity all felt alive and ready. But somewhere along the way, things began to change. The strength faded, the desire dulled, and those morning erections that once felt automatic? Gone. If you're a man over 60, you're not alone. Millions of men around the world experience this slow, silent decline, and most of them never talk about it. They try to ignore it, hide it, or worse, accept it as just part of getting old. But here's the truth. You don't have to live like that. You don't need pills, injections, or embarrassing doctor visits. You just need to understand what your body truly needs, and give it that every single morning. In this video, we'll reveal one incredibly simple habit, backed by science, proven by real men, and doable in under 10 minutes a day, that can reignite your natural ability to have strong, lasting, powerful erections. This is not a magic pill. It's a morning ritual that supports your hormones, your blood flow, your confidence, and most importantly, your identity as a man. So don't skip. Don't scroll. Don't look away. This could be the start of something new, or maybe the return of the man you once were. Let's begin. Part 1. Why erections fade after 60. As men age, many begin to notice changes in their sexual function, especially when it comes to the strength, frequency, and reliability of erections. This decline doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow, quiet shift that often begins in a man's late 40s or 50s and becomes more noticeable by the time he reaches his 60s. One morning you may realize that the automatic, rock-hard morning erections you once had as a younger man no longer show up with the same confidence, or at all. For many, this realization comes with frustration, confusion, and a feeling of loss. But to understand how to restore this part of your vitality, you must first understand why it fades in the first place. One of the primary reasons erections become weaker after 60 is the natural decline in testosterone, the hormone responsible for driving male sexual desire, performance, and overall energy. Testosterone isn't just a sex hormone, it's a life hormone. It fuels your mood, muscle mass, motivation, bone density, and most importantly, your libido and ability to get and sustain erections. Starting around age 30, testosterone levels begin to decline gradually, at an average rate of about 1% per year. By the time a man reaches his 60s, he may have lost 30 to 50% of the testosterone he once had in his prime. This loss isn't usually dramatic or sudden, which is why many men don't immediately notice it. Instead, it shows up as a gradual loss of desire, a longer recovery time after sex, less spontaneous erections, and a reduced sense of vitality. However, testosterone alone doesn't explain everything. Erections are also highly dependent on vascular health, that is, how well blood flows through your arteries and into the penis. The penis functions much like a sponge. During arousal, blood rushes in, fills the spongy chambers, and is trapped there by muscles that constrict the outflow. This process requires the cardiovascular system to be in good shape. Unfortunately, as we age, the blood vessels, particularly the small ones in the pelvic region, can become damaged or narrowed due to years of poor diet, lack of physical activity, high blood pressure, smoking, or excessive alcohol. This condition, known as endothelial dysfunction, makes it harder for blood to flow freely, and even when the desire is there, the body simply can't respond with the same intensity or consistency. In addition to reduced testosterone and compromised blood flow, many older men develop health conditions that further impact their sexual performance. Diabetes, for instance, damages nerves and blood vessels, making it harder to feel stimulation and sustain an erection. Obesity increases estrogen levels and reduces testosterone, while also contributing to inflammation and circulation problems. High cholesterol can lead to plaque buildup in arteries, reducing blood supply to the penis. Sleep apnea, often undiagnosed in older adults, interrupts sleep cycles and reduces the body's ability to produce testosterone during the night. Even certain medications, particularly those for blood pressure, depression, or prostate issues, can interfere with sexual function. All of these factors converge over time to create a frustrating reality. The desire for intimacy may remain, but the body no longer performs as it once did. Some men blame themselves, thinking they've done something wrong, while others assume it's just the natural price of aging. But that mindset can lead to resignation, loss of confidence, and emotional distance in relationships. What's important to realize is this: the mechanisms for strong erections still exist inside your body, even at age 60, 70, or beyond. They may be dormant, neglected, or weakened, but they're not gone. The body is remarkably adaptable. When given the right signals, through movement, nutrition, sleep, sunlight, and the right daily habits, it can begin to restore what feels lost. You don't need to rely solely on pills or invasive treatments. You can work with your body, not against it, to rebuild your vitality from the inside out. Understanding why erections fade after 60 is the first step. The next step is knowing what to do about it. And that's where the morning habit comes in. A simple daily practice that wakes up your system, triggers hormone release, boosts circulation, and brings back the part of you that you thought was gone for good. Part 2. The root cause: poor blood flow plus hormone decline. To truly solve the problem of weaker or inconsistent erections after 60, it's not enough to treat the symptoms. You need to understand and target the root causes. For most men, those causes can be traced to two major issues: declining hormone levels, particularly testosterone, and compromised blood flow to the penis. Together, these two forces silently and steadily erode sexual performance, making erections weaker, shorter-lived, or harder to achieve at all. Let's begin with hormones. Testosterone is often referred to as the male hormone, and with good reason. It fuels not only sexual desire and performance, but also energy, mood, muscle strength, and confidence. In younger years, testosterone levels are at their peak, driving powerful libido and spontaneous, firm erections. But after the age of 30, testosterone production naturally begins to decline. By the time a man reaches 60, he may have lost up to half of his youthful testosterone levels. This doesn't always result in a complete loss of desire, but it does weaken the signals from the brain to the body that tell it, it's time to perform. With lower testosterone, libido decreases, erections become less reliable, and recovery time after sex increases. However, hormones are only part of the equation. Erections are first and foremost a vascular event. Blood must flow freely into the penis, fill the erectile tissue, and stay there long enough for penetration and satisfaction. When that blood flow is strong and uninterrupted, the result is a full, firm erection. But if the vessels carrying that blood are restricted, narrowed, inflamed, or damaged, the process breaks down. And this is where aging catches many men off guard. Over the decades, poor lifestyle habits such as a sedentary routine, high-sugar diets, processed foods, chronic stress, smoking, and lack of exercise slowly compromise vascular health. The arteries become less flexible. The lining of blood vessels, known as the endothelium, begins to dysfunction. And the body produces less nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for relaxing blood vessels so blood can flow in quickly during arousal. When you combine poor blood flow with declining testosterone, the result is a double hit to your sexual performance. Even if your brain is still sending the signal for an erection, the body is less equipped to carry it out. This is often why men over 60 experience the frustration of arousal without response. Mentally, they feel desire, but physically, their body doesn't deliver. The issue is not just mental or emotional, it is physiological, deeply rooted in the health of your blood vessels and hormone balance. And yet, many men make the mistake of assuming this decline is permanent and irreversible. They turn to quick fixes like pills, which may provide temporary results but don't address the core of the problem. Pills can force an erection, but they can't rebuild vascular health. They can't raise natural testosterone. They can't restore the body's own ability to respond like it used to. What's needed is a long-term approach, one that reactivates blood flow naturally, supports hormonal recovery, and rebuilds the pathways that create real, lasting arousal and performance. This is why the solution we'll explore in this video doesn't involve medication or extreme interventions. Instead, it starts with a simple but powerful morning habit that jumpstarts blood flow, supports testosterone production, and gradually restores the body's natural rhythm. When practiced daily, this habit doesn't just improve erections, it improves your overall vitality, energy, and confidence. Because at its core, the root cause of sexual decline is a lack of circulation and hormonal support, and those are both things you can take control of starting today. Part 3. The one morning habit, 5 to 10 minutes of targeted movement. So now that we understand why erections fade after 60 and how poor blood flow combined with declining hormones is the core of the issue, it's time to introduce the one simple habit that can begin to reverse that decline. A daily practice that takes just 5 to 10 minutes each morning, but can transform not only your sexual health, but your energy, clarity, and overall well-being. The habit is movement, but not just any movement. This is targeted, intentional, and hormone-activating movement, done first thing in the morning when your body is waking up and your testosterone levels are at their natural peak. Most people underestimate the power of brief physical activity performed right after waking. But for men over 60, this small window in the morning holds tremendous potential. Upon waking, your body is in a semi-fasted state, and your hormones, particularly testosterone and cortisol, are naturally higher. The body is primed to respond. By activating your muscles and your cardiovascular system early in the day, you send a powerful signal to your brain and your body that it's time to wake up, perform, and grow stronger. And when you do this consistently, your blood vessels open up, your heart pumps more efficiently, your metabolism increases, and your hormone systems begin to reawaken from years of underuse. The goal of this habit is not to exhaust you, but to energize you. You're not training for a marathon or trying to lift heavy weights. Instead, you're using short bursts of compound movement, squats, hip bridges, dynamic stretches, light jumping, or brisk walking that engage your large muscle groups, especially those in the lower body. Why the lower body? Because the legs, glutes, and pelvic muscles are directly connected to sexual performance. When these muscles are strong and active, they support better blood flow to the pelvic region, including the penis. In fact, studies have shown that lower body resistance training, even at a light intensity, can lead to a significant increase in testosterone and improved erectile quality. But beyond the physical impact, this morning movement habit sets the tone for your entire day. It lifts your mood, sharpens your mind, and boosts confidence. It also begins to rebuild a neurological connection between your brain and your body, one that may have weakened over time due to sedentary habits or emotional withdrawal. By choosing to move each morning, you are choosing to reclaim control over your health, your masculinity, and your vitality. It's important to do this first thing after waking up, ideally before eating or drinking coffee. This ensures your body taps into natural energy reserves and maximizes hormone optimization. The routine doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as 5 minutes of bodyweight squats, alternating lunges, and hip thrusts, followed by light stretching. The key is consistency. You want your body to expect this activation every morning, so it begins adapting, improving blood flow, raising testosterone, and restoring the sensitivity and responsiveness you once had. Many men report seeing noticeable changes within just a few weeks of daily morning movement. They experience stronger morning erections, improved stamina during the day, and a greater sense of confidence. It's not magic, it's physiology. When you give your body the signal to be alive, it responds. And when you do it daily, those signals become stronger, more efficient, and more powerful. The beauty of this habit is in its simplicity. No equipment is needed. No gym is required. You can do it right in your bedroom, barefoot, without disturbing anyone. It's free, it's natural, and it works with your body's own systems. In just 5 to 10 minutes a day, you can begin to restore what time, stress, and aging may have dulled. Because at the end of the day, movement is life, and the right kind of movement is the key to reigniting your vitality from the inside out. Part 3. The one morning habit, 5 to 10 minutes of targeted movement. So now that we understand why erections fade after 60 and how poor blood flow combined with declining hormones is the core of the issue, it's time to introduce the one simple habit that can begin to reverse that decline. A daily practice that takes just 5 to 10 minutes each morning, but can transform not only your sexual health, but your energy, clarity, and overall well-being. The habit is movement, but not just any movement. This is targeted, intentional, and hormone-activating movement, done first thing in the morning when your body is waking up and your testosterone levels are at their natural peak. Most people underestimate the power of brief physical activity performed right after waking. But for men over 60, this small window in the morning holds tremendous potential. Upon waking, your body is in a semi-fasted state, and your hormones, particularly testosterone and cortisol, are naturally higher. The body is primed to respond. By activating your muscles and your cardiovascular system early in the day, you send a powerful signal to your brain and your body that it's time to wake up, perform, and grow stronger. And when you do this consistently, your blood vessels open up, your heart pumps more efficiently, your metabolism increases, and your hormone systems begin to reawaken from years of underuse. The goal of this habit is not to exhaust you, but to energize you. You're not training for a marathon or trying to lift heavy weights. Instead, you're using short bursts of compound movement, squats, hip bridges, dynamic stretches, light jumping, or brisk walking, that engage your large muscle groups, especially those in the lower body. Why the lower body? Because the legs, glutes, and pelvic muscles are directly connected to sexual performance. When these muscles are strong and active, they support better blood flow to the pelvic region, including the penis. In fact, studies have shown that lower body resistance training, even at a light intensity, can lead to a significant increase in testosterone and improved erectile quality. But beyond the physical impact, this morning movement habit sets the tone for your entire day. It lifts your mood, sharpens your mind, and boosts confidence. It also begins to rebuild a neurological connection between your brain and your body, one that may have weakened over time due to sedentary habits or emotional withdrawal. By choosing to move each morning, you are choosing to reclaim control over your health, your masculinity, and your vitality. It's important to do this first thing after waking up, ideally before eating or drinking coffee. This ensures your body taps into natural energy reserves and maximizes hormone optimization. The routine doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as 5 minutes of bodyweight squats, alternating lunges, and hip thrusts, followed by light stretching. The key is consistency. You want your body to expect this activation every morning so it begins adapting, improving blood flow, raising testosterone, and restoring the sensitivity and responsiveness you once had. Many men report seeing noticeable changes within just a few weeks of daily morning movement. They experience stronger morning erections, improved stamina during the day, and a greater sense of confidence. It's not magic, it's physiology. When you give your body the signal to be alive, it responds. And when you do it daily, those signals become stronger, more efficient, and more powerful. The beauty of this habit is in its simplicity. No equipment is needed. No gym is required. You can do it right in your bedroom, barefoot, without disturbing anyone. It's free, it's natural, and it works with your body's own systems. In just 5 to 10 minutes a day, you can begin to restore what time, stress, and aging may have dulled. Because at the end of the day, movement is life, and the right kind of movement is the key to reigniting your vitality from the inside out. Part 4. Supporting habits to multiply the results. While the 5 to 10 minutes of targeted morning movement is the cornerstone habit that initiates real change, its effects can be dramatically amplified when paired with a few powerful supporting habits. These supporting actions don't have to be complicated, and they're not meant to overwhelm you. Instead, they work quietly in the background of your day, helping your body recover faster, produce more testosterone naturally, improve circulation, and maintain consistent energy and vitality, all of which are essential for rock-hard erections and a vibrant sex life after 60. The first of these supporting habits is quality sleep. Most men don't realize how deeply sleep affects their hormones. Testosterone is not produced while you're awake and active. It's primarily released during the deep phases of sleep, especially in the early hours of morning. If your sleep is shallow, disrupted, or too short, your body won't enter the hormone-producing stages, and your testosterone levels will remain low, no matter how well you eat or exercise. By aiming for 7 to 8 hours of high-quality sleep every night, preferably going to bed before midnight, and keeping a consistent schedule, you create the perfect internal environment for hormonal repair. Avoiding screens an hour before bed, keeping your room cool and dark, and limiting caffeine in the afternoon can all help your body enter deep, restorative sleep, where healing and hormone production thrive. Next comes hydration. Blood is largely composed of water, and for blood to flow smoothly through the arteries and into the penile tissue, your body needs to be well hydrated. Dehydration leads to thicker blood, lower energy, and poor circulation, all of which make it harder to achieve or sustain an erection. Starting your day with a glass of water, especially before coffee, helps flush out overnight toxins, rehydrates your organs, and supports optimal blood pressure and vascular function. Throughout the day, drinking enough water ensures that your cells, including those in your reproductive system, remain oxygenated and nourished. Nutrition also plays a critical role in multiplying the effects of your morning habit. Your body can't produce hormones or maintain healthy blood flow without the right raw materials. Whole foods, particularly those rich in healthy fats, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals, are essential. Foods like eggs, avocados, nuts, leafy greens, berries, beets, and fatty fish like salmon help support testosterone production, reduce inflammation, and improve endothelial function. On the other hand, processed foods, added sugars, and refined carbs create chronic inflammation, contribute to weight gain, and damage blood vessels, leading to the very problems we're trying to reverse. Eating with purpose, not perfection, is the key. Just by adding a few nourishing meals to your week and cutting down on the obvious offenders, you give your body what it needs to rebuild and perform. Another overlooked yet powerful habit is sunlight exposure. Morning sunlight on your skin, especially your face and arms, triggers the release of serotonin, a feel-good hormone that later converts to melatonin at night, improving sleep. It also stimulates the skin to produce vitamin D, which is essential for testosterone production, bone health, and immune function. A short walk outside in the morning not only combines movement with sunlight, but also helps reset your circadian rhythm, making it easier to fall asleep at night. These small outdoor moments compound over time, creating the conditions for your hormones to thrive. Part 5. Real-life success stories. One of the most powerful motivators for change is hearing from others who've walked the same road and come out stronger on the other side. It's one thing to understand the science behind erections and testosterone, and it's another to actually see and feel the difference that a consistent morning habit can make. Across the world, thousands of men over the age of 60 have taken charge of their health by incorporating simple daily movement, and their stories are a testament to what's possible when you commit to reclaiming your body. These are not professional athletes or fitness gurus. They're everyday men who are tired of feeling old, defeated, and disconnected from their masculinity. Take, for example, Roger, a 67-year-old retired accountant from Ohio. After years of feeling fatigued, overweight, and disconnected from his wife, Roger stumbled across a simple article that mentioned how morning movement could help restore blood flow and improve erections. Skeptical but desperate, he decided to give it a try. He started with just 6 minutes a day of light squats, hip stretches, and deep breathing. In less than 3 weeks, he noticed something he hadn't felt in years, a spontaneous morning erection. That moment brought tears to his eyes. It wasn't just about the erection itself. It was about what it symbolized, a return of something he thought was lost forever. With that confidence, he continued. Over the next few months, his energy increased, he shed belly fat, and intimacy with his wife returned, not as a chore, but as a source of joy and connection. Then there's Daniel, a 62-year-old grandfather from New Zealand who had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and was taking medication for high blood pressure. For years, he had resigned himself to the idea that erectile dysfunction was just part of aging. Even when he was emotionally connected to his partner, his body simply wouldn't respond. But after learning that blood flow was the key issue and that movement could dramatically improve circulation, he decided to make a change. He began with morning walks in the sun, followed by bodyweight lunges and deep hip mobility exercises. The first month wasn't easy, but he stuck with it. 2 months later, he was able to get and maintain erections naturally with no pills. His blood pressure improved, his blood sugar stabilized, and his doctor eventually reduced his medication. For Daniel, regaining his erections was about more than sex. It was about feeling like a man again. Not every story involves dramatic physical changes right away. Some men report emotional shifts first, like feeling more alive, more present, and more hopeful. George, a 70-year-old widower, said the morning habit gave him something to wake up for. He had lost his wife years ago and hadn't felt much motivation to take care of himself. But when he committed to 10 minutes of movement every morning, he began to reconnect with his body. His posture improved, he smiled more, and after a few months, he noticed that his libido, which had been dormant for nearly a decade, began to return. He eventually began dating again and felt a sense of excitement he hadn't experienced since his 40s. George's story reminds us that this habit is not just about erections, it's about reclaiming vitality, hope, and emotional connection. These stories echo a single truth: the body responds to consistency. It doesn't matter if you've been inactive for years or if you've struggled with erectile dysfunction for a long time. When you start treating your body with respect, when you move with purpose, nourish your cells, rest deeply, and manage stress, your body starts working for you again. These men didn't need fancy supplements or invasive procedures. They needed a decision, a daily choice. And that small daily act, that 5 to 10 minutes each morning, was the spark that lit a fire inside them. What's most inspiring is that these men didn't just improve physically. They became more confident, more engaged in life, more emotionally present with their partners and families. They didn't chase a miracle cure, they became their own solution. And if they can do it, so can you. Your age does not define your potential. Your body is not broken. It's waiting patiently for you to give it the signal to come alive again. And that signal can start tomorrow morning with a single step, a deep breath, and a few minutes of movement that remind your body, I am still here. I am still strong. I am not finished yet. Call to action. Now that you've heard the truth, that declining erections aren't a life sentence, and that your body still holds the power to change, it's time to stop waiting and start doing. You don't need permission. You don't need a doctor's prescription. And you certainly don't need to give up on yourself. All it takes is a few minutes each morning. Just 5 to 10 minutes of movement that wakes your body, stirs your blood, and reignites your inner fire. If you're ready to take back control over your energy, your confidence, your intimacy, then commit to this habit starting tomorrow morning. No excuses. No delay. Begin simple. Stay consistent. Watch how your body responds. And if this message resonated with you, if you found clarity, hope, or even a spark of inspiration, then share this video with a friend, a father, a brother, or anyone who might be silently struggling with the same challenges. You could be the reason they rediscover themselves again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss content that empowers you to live stronger, healthier, and with purpose, no matter your age. This is your journey, and it starts now. Let this be the day you stop accepting decline and start reclaiming your strength naturally.